My name is Danielle, and this is Trying Matters. If you're looking for a no BS type podcast, this is it. I'm here to help make life fun and interesting and learn right alongside you how to be brave enough to go against the grain. Here, we'll be talking about real challenges and fears that are holding us women back from living our lives to the fullest. So let's shake things up a bit and actually start trying. Hello and welcome back. What is up, guys? Episode 21 of Trying Matters. What up? Today we are talking about confidence. And this one kind of came out of the blue and it just feels so right. So we're going to talk about it. Me and one of my friends were talking about confidence this past weekend. And I was like, ooh, this is going to be so good for the podcast. So I'm just going to go ahead and roll with it. She made a comment about how confident she feels I am. She said, I will never have the level of confidence that you have. And I was like, pump the brakes. Hold up. First off, we never say never in that regard, okay? Because our words matter, which we're going to get into. But I was like, why do you think that? One, why do you think I am so confident? And why do you feel like you do not have confidence? Because, our own perspective of ourselves is usually kind of like, I don't think I'm all that. And then other people are like, but what you don't realize is you have this, and this. And I've seen you demonstrate confidence and so on and so forth for this sake of, the conversation that we're having today. So that kind of just sparked this whole conversation with us. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to share this conversation with you guys, the listeners. So first thing that I told her was like, literally like, hold up. You think you're not confident, but you're confident in certain ways that I am not. And then there's another argument to be said there for like, if you don't feel like you're at the level of confidence that you want, why not change that? Because let's be real, we're here to grow. That's why you guys listen to this podcast, I hope. Trying matters, right? If we stay where we're at and we're not trying to improve on something that we have as a goal for ourselves in our lives, then how are we going to get there? If we want to be more confident, but we think we'll never get there, then we're never going to get there, right? But if we have just a few tools to help us, or if we have something to kind of change our mind, then it's possible. Because at that point, we're no longer saying like, no, that's not me. I'm not a confident person. Why are we going to put ourselves in this mold of I'm not a confident person? Confidence is not something that everybody has just as a gift. Some people do, but if you want more of it, the only way to get more of it is to put in time to work on that. So that's basically what we're going to get into with this perspective of confidence. So, what I started telling her was just kind of my story. So I've shared some of these details with you guys, but I feel like in relation to confidence, I'm going to like dive in a little bit. So as a child, y'all have heard me talk about this. I was a wild one. Okay. I don't give two shits what anybody thinks about me. I will go anywhere wearing what I want. And at age, 4 years old, that was tutus and feather boas and what me and my family call clippy clop shoes, which are like those plastic princess dress up shoes that you get in the toy section. And then I also had the jewelry with it, of course, and a tiara. Like that was how I wanted to go to the store. And if you tried to tell me otherwise because you thought I looked ridiculous, I would have told you, no, I look fabulous. What are you talking about? So I was always the person who was like wanting to be loud and wear what I want and be like flamboyant and just as a lot of people would describe, as I've talked about on here before, a lot. That was me. Going into high school, I was a little nervous, but then I got my bearings. And again, that was still me, like loud, wanted to do what I wanted. And like, if you were for it, cool. If you weren't, Yeah, it kind of hurt, but whatever. I was still this energetic ball of sunshine, is what a lot of people would describe it as, or just like she's just got a lot of energy. Um, and she doesn't care. And it was always like, if we were at some place and that doesn't, seem appropriate for you to be dancing, i.e., for me, a lot of times the grocery store, if that's you, snaps. If you're listening to this right now while you're grocery shopping, hit a little dance move. Yep. um, like I'd be dancing in the middle of the grocery store. I don't care. Why does it matter? You're gonna sit there and judge me? I'll never see you again. It's the grocery store. If I see somebody I know, well, hey, at least they know I'm having fun. And if they think it's ridiculous, then that's on them. That ain't on me. So that's always been kind of my mentality. Going into college, same thing. I was like, woo, yeah. And then like all throughout my life, it's kind of been like, this is me. But that kind of got wavered. So I may have told y'all this at some point, I'm sure. In college, I was in this really not so healthy relationship. I was dating this guy who was just emotionally and mentally like manipulative and negative, and he tried to control everything that I did. And honestly, I didn't know at the time because like when you're in this situation, you don't realize how you're changing, if it's for the better, if it's for the worse. Like you're just in it and you're like, oh, well, this kind of sucks, but there's this. And then it's just a different perspective than when you're on the outside looking in, or, once you're out of it and it's like hindsight 2020. So this man would just tell me things that were truly like beating down my confidence. And I didn't realize it. Like, to the point where I'd be like, should I wear this? Or is he going to make a comment about it being like too revealing? Or should I go do this? Or is he going to tell me that I'm trying to get attention from people and like that's wrong? Or should I go and drink with my friends? Oh no, because that makes me look like I'm trying to get attention from guys. Like that was, and then other comments that were made like, oh, you really need to start working out, you're getting kind of chunky. And then like his family members saying stuff about that, stuff like that about me as well. So like just gradually like beating me down, beating my self-esteem down, making me feel like it wasn't okay for me to be who I was, and like slowly just pulling at my level of confidence, like taking little bits away, bit by bit by bit, what I thought of myself as far as like my level of intelligence, my level of beauty outwardly, my level of like what my strengths and weaknesses are. Like he would just pick me apart and I would fight back, but I still stayed and it took a toll on me. And there was one point where my mom told me, she was like, you know what? You used to have this light about you and he's just taken that away. And I was like, I didn't even realize. Like I said, I was in it, so I didn't see it as much as other people did. So my confidence was like down in the dumps. And I left him. And I didn't know who I was because also, if you've listened to this podcast, you may have heard me say this, but I was a chronic dater. I did not know how to be on my own. I would break up with somebody and then get in a new relationship. Like it was just a cycle. I did not like to be alone. I learned in the later points of, my dating history, like I don't have security in myself. I am looking for my validation from others, which is why when that guy that I used to date would say all of those things, like I started to believe it. And I heard it so often that it started to become my identity. And like my confidence would just like boop, 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 slowly retract. Um, and I was surrounded by it because I was with him all the time. So once I got out of it, I was like, oh shoot, am I still desirable? Am I able to do the things that he told me I couldn't do or that I shouldn't do? I don't know. And because I heard it so often and it was completely surrounding me, on top of the fact that, I was putting my value in what others were saying or how they were reacting to what I was doing, Everything, validation was outward. Validation was always outward because that made me feel relevant. So breaking up with him and then going into like single life, I was like, okay. So if people look at me and they make comments about me in a good way, then I'm good. I'm in the clear. I am desirable. I am awesome. I am getting my confidence back because they're telling me that I should. And really, like, if I got attention from people in any way, shape, or form, I was like, yep, I'm the shit. If I was looking for my attention seeking like in my friends and guys when I would go out, I was like, ooh, I'm dancing. Are they looking? Like, do they think I'm hot? And then like with my friends, I was like, oh, are they calling me to come hang out with them regularly? If they're not, like, then I must not be good enough. Um, like, oh, I got this position and in this job, or like when I was in college, like, oh, I got this position within my sorority, so like I'm important. People like me and I'm desirable to them, and like was using that as like a substitution for like the deep level of confidence that I was seeking. And because I was just like looking at all of these outward things to fulfill me, like when I would be on my own or when I wouldn't get that outside validation, I'd just like shit on myself even more. Plus, I had already been, in the habit of like shit talking myself because that was what was done to me in that bad relationship. So it was like, I'm speaking ill of myself to myself. I'm looking for validation from others and I'm not getting it. Now I'm like, what do I do? Of course, after that relationship, I jumped into another one and was like seeking that validation chronically from him. And like that didn't work out. Like that was just a whole blur of like, oh, I'm dating the popular guy now. Oh, I'm hanging out with all the people that I really wanted to hang out with in college and they make me feel relevant. And then when that ended, I was like, oh crap, is this rock bottom? Am I on my way to rock bottom? I have now left a relationship. I have been dumped. I am solidifying my crappy self talk. And I'm unhappy with my weight. I'm unhappy with this transition period that I'm in. Cause at that point, I was transitioning into grad school, or like I was in grad school. So, like, if anybody is in grad school, I've talked about this if you've listened as well. Like, grad school, when the rest of your friends are not in grad school, is just weird because, like, if they don't need to go get further education, like, they jump right into their job. And then you're still, like, kind of in college mode, but like you're really having to crack down because it's a master's degree, or if you're like getting a doctorate or something, like that's intense work, like way more intense than undergrad ever was. There's a lot more required of you. And like me, I was working, I was doing grad school, I was alone in a new city, I didn't have a boyfriend, I was wallowing in my poor self-talk and like felt like I was alone and felt like there is nothing that I have to be confident about. I am not desirable to any men or any new friends. So, what do I have to offer in this life? Like, that was where my head was. So, rock bottom. Even worse, it got worse because I still continued that pattern of like seeking the validation from others. And like, I turned into a new person that I swore up and down I would never be, y'all. Like, I grew up in, and again, if you've listened to the podcast, you know this, a conservative Catholic family. Like, you need to find your value within yourself and with like your relationship with your family and with God and that kind of thing. Like, who you are at your core, that is important. And what others think of you and how others, make commentary or like what the world is doing is not what you need to be doing. And treat yourself like you are a daughter of God, essentially. And I was not doing that at that point. I was big time seeking outside validation and like was going out all the time and was like hooking up with guys that like I knew it wasn't going anywhere. But like that was where I was at because I was just so depleted of my confidence and my self-worth. And I was just like in this cycle of like doing it over and over and over again. And I was like, what? And I didn't realize at the time, like I was trying to shove down like my core values and who I was at my deepest level. And I was trying to find that fulfillment in everything else than what I knew I needed to do. And I did not love myself. Therefore, I did not have confidence in myself. And then I like had that eye-opening experience once I like had done this cycle. I had done that cycle of like going out and hooking up with people and then like trying to flaunt who I was like on my like vanity, like my outward appearance, like, ooh, like go me. I'm a hot girl. I've always been a hot girl. Like, how do I keep that status? How do I keep people looking at me and like giving me that outside validation? Or how do I stay the funny girl that everybody likes to be entertained by? Like, I need to have people around me and make new friends. And if I don't make new friends, then people don't like me. And I'm still seeking that outside validation. And when I got to like many times of that cycle, over and over again, and it was getting me nowhere, I was like, wait a minute. Something's not right here. I keep doing the same thing over and over again, and I'm not getting a different result. So something serious needs to change here because I've said I wasn't going to do XYZ, and I have done all of the things that I said I would never do. I've turned into a person that I said I would never be. And there was no confidence. I didn't love myself. I was still placing all of that in others. And that's when I was like, no, I need to reclaim who I am and get that confidence back. How do I do that? What do I need to do? And this is where like the major change and growth happened. So I needed to, first off, stop denying who I was and what I truly wanted for myself, and to stop looking to others for what to do and who to be. Because it was where I wrote this down because I was like, this is what it was. Others were driving what I did, who I spent my time with, and who I was. They were the driving factor behind a lot of what I did and that bad cycle of, unfulfilling, just self-deprecating, like just bad. So I was like, no, stop denying who you are. Reclaim yourself, reclaim your confidence, reclaim what truly matters. And what truly mattered to me at my core and will always be is my roots, my family, my very good, genuine friendships, and my faith. Like those were the things that I was like, okay, stop saying that's not you and that's a past version of you. No, you will never be able to get rid of those because that is so deeply rooted in your core. Like stop denying it and embrace it. Embrace those things. So I leaned into, like I said, the people who actually care about me all the time. No matter what part of my life I'm in, they are always there and they want that deep relationship with me. Those are the people that are supportive. I wanted positive people in my life as well, because there were so many instances where I had just these surface level relationships with guys or friends or, even sometimes some family members, depending on, what level of family they are and how often I see them. There's just like surface level conversations. I wanted deeper connections and positivity, because when you're surrounded with negative talk and people who put you down, you don't feel confident because they're putting you down, they're taking that confidence away from you. And I found that positivity and that newness of like, wait, I don't have to speak ill of myself or others or anything like that. I found that because I got into like this workout community and this like health and nutrition and wellness community. I found that with those people, they were positive. They wanted to grow. They wanted to be confident in themselves and love themselves. And that was like, wow, I need this. I need this so bad. And those friends that were, not those surface level friends where like you talk about like just, those surface level things like, oh, where are you living now? And oh, what's your new job? And how's your mom? But they don't really care. They feel obligated to talk about those things, So it's like, oh, we were friends at one point, but like now we're like not really, like I don't talk to you that often, so I don't know what to say. Ha ha. This is an obligatory conversation. Like not those. I'm talking about the people who like, I'm in a pickle and like I can't get over my pity party right now, like help. Those kind of friends, the ones who want to have that deeper relationship. I dove into those relationships as well. And I left behind the ones that were just like, yeah, we're supposed to be friends by certain people's definitions, but like we ain't. So spending more time with the positive people, spending more time of the with the people who are supportive and want you to be your true, genuine version of yourself, not some, people pleasing clone of everybody else that's in this world, right? I also really kind of took baby steps getting back into my faith because let's be real, um, the only person that loves you unconditionally is God, Um, and I needed to find that unconditional deep love again. And that's still something that I'm working on to this day. If you can relate to that, again, snaps. Um, I always come back to it. Like I said, it's my core, it's my roots. There's no denying it anymore. I say anymore, like I've been kind of in the direction of diving deeper into my faith for a while now, but like it's an active thing. But like if I can find that God loves me unconditionally, then why would I not be confident in myself? And I'm surrounding myself with people who reinforce that. Why would I not be confident in myself? That's just love and positivity and encouragement all in all directions. When I'm alone, he's there. He's supporting me. He is showing me my gifts and my talents that he's given me and reasons why I need to love myself and reasons why I need to be confident in myself. And then the supportive people in my life that are like physically here, like my friends and my family and so on, that community of, that health and wellness group at the time, those were the puzzle pieces to help support that love and that um demonstration and like opening my eyes to the things that I should love about myself that God has given me. And then gives me like more purpose in life too. So why would I not be confident in that? And another thing that really like with that community of people and like learning those things about my internal gifts and all of that, building my relationship back up with God, building my relationship up with my family and my friends and so on and so on. I also had to work on like the thoughts in my head. And those people help with that. But the steps that I took for actually doing that was actively turning the negative thoughts into positive ones. So, like when I looked in the mirror and I'm like, girl, you are fat. You need to lose weight. All that, I would say, no, 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 no. We're not going to do that. Let's find some things that you love about yourself. And let's also appreciate the fact that your body gets you through the day. Every day, your body gets up, it moves, it gets you through work, it gets you through cleaning your house, it gets you through, and my day today, chasing after my puppy. Like, our bodies are amazing, and what they do for us is absolutely amazing, and they are a gift from, here we go, we're going to say it again, they're a gift from God, okay? So appreciate them. The more you say kind things to yourself, the less you will have those negative thoughts and the more confident you're going to be. Find things that you appreciate about yourself and remind yourself of those things. And if there's things that you want to improve on and work on, say, you know what? That's a work in progress. A really good book that helped me with that was The High Five Habit. Um, you high five yourself in the mirror every morning and you say to yourself, I love you, I appreciate you, you are awesome. And you amp yourself up. It seems difficult and it seems silly at first, but it was what helped me build my confidence back up because I needed to find those things that I loved about myself and I needed to stop focusing on the negative thoughts and turn them around. It's not something that happens overnight, but it is essential to building your confidence back up. People can tell you all of the things. Just like when I was looking for outside validation, when I was in that cycle of bad, just bad thoughts and not thinking I was worthy because I was putting my validation in them. They can't validate you for the good entirely either. You have to learn how to do that for yourself. And the way that you do that is reframing your mind. And that takes time and that takes effort. It is a skill that you have to work on daily, multiple times a day. It doesn't happen overnight. That confidence won't be there overnight. And the other thing that worked for me that I think is super essential is physically working on your body, physically giving your body what it needs. And what I mean by that is good nutrition. Like, honestly, I talked about this with one of my patients today at work. Him and his wife are, they're talking about how when my patient gets out of the hospital, they want to make a lifestyle change because what happened to my patient was just so life altering that, their eyes are open to, we need to make even small changes would be helpful. They're not trying to make massive changes right out the gate because we know all or nothing mentality doesn't work. If you haven't heard that episode, I talk about it actually almost in every episode, but small goals get us to the big one. So, fueling our bodies with good things. We were talking about today with my patient and his wife. We were talking about how just the food in our country, the convenience foods, are just not healthy. They're convenient, but they're not good for us. Like, there are certain just chemicals and like fake sugars and all of this stuff. The process of like keeping them, not going bad is what is keeping us from being healthy. On top of just a bunch of things. Like, if we're eating not the adequate, macronutrients, sorry. Like, if we're not getting all those vitamins and things from those good whole foods, like, we're not going to feel good. And we're not going to have energy. And then where's the confidence in that? Like, I'm always drained. I don't feel my best. You're not going to feel confident in yourself. And I paired my nutrition changes, which it was a lifestyle change. It wasn't like, oh, I'm cutting carbs and like, we're going for it, or oh, I'm going to do keto, or oh, I'm going to stick a shot of this stuff that's probably going to damage my kidneys. And like, that's going to be my quick fix. No, this is you working on your physical health by changing your nutrition habits, by changing your movement habits. And that's what I did. And as I, paired all of those things, moving more to feel my best. Yes, it helped with, my outward appearance that I was wanting to work on and improve, but it gave me more energy to fuel my body the way that it did and to move my body in a way that was energy inducing. And it feels good to challenge yourself with things like, okay, I said I'm going to stick to this nutrition plan, or I said I'm going to make sure I eat this many vegetables today, and I did it. Damn, that feels good. Confidence boost. Or, oh my gosh, I never thought I would be able to do a push up, but I've done this workout, this many times, and now I can do a freaking push up. Confidence boost. The other day I noticed myself having a negative thought and I turned it around. Boom, you did it. Confidence boost. Little by little. Oh, I went to go hang out with this friend who used to like dog on me for yada yada. And I decided I wasn't going to go do that. Instead, I was going to go hang out with my grandma, who always makes me feel good about myself and just has this genuine outpouring of love and zero judgment. Boom, confidence boost. I chose to do that for myself rather than going back into the cycle of what was easy and convenient in the past. I decided to, make my prayer life a big part of my morning routine. Boom, confidence boost. I'm getting that unconditional love and building that relationship with God, confidence boost. All of those things together are going to give you more confidence. You have to learn to love yourself, is really what it all boils down to. If you are constantly listening to others and comparing yourself to others and having this negative self-talk and not fueling yourself with the way to, make yourself feel good, or not living a healthy lifestyle to make yourself feel good in some way, shape, or form, even if it's simple, you're not gonna feel confident. Why would you, when you're constantly breaking your promises to yourself, or you're constantly just staying stuck in that rut? You want the change, you want to feel good, you want to be your best version. That's how you build confidence. It's all about what you're saying to yourself up here and then how you execute it throughout your day. the more good we put in, the better we'll be. That's another simplification there. So that's that. There's one more thing I want to say too. Because this conversation that I had with my friend, this was almost identical to what we talked about, a little bit different because I wanted to make it make sense. I hope it made sense. But there's always going to be the fear of rejection from people. It's just in our nature to want to fit in with the crowd and to want to be valued and loved by other people. We are community seeking humans. Like that's what we want. We want companionship. We want love from others. But if we can't be our true self, we won't have confidence in ourselves. We won't feel good. And if we can't be our true self with somebody and they want this like other version of us that's not who we are, you're not gonna have the confidence. And then in a way, you're living a lie. And if they don't like your true version of you, they don't deserve you. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have to pretend to be somebody or live by their means or only like seek what they're wanting, you're going to be exhausted and you're never going to learn to love yourself. But rejection is a part of life. Not everybody's going to like you. Not everybody is going to be somebody who brings you up, you know? So choose your people wisely. Make sure you're talking to yourself in a loving and kind way, and then bleed that out into the world. And then your confidence will radiate. Seems pretty simple. Not easy, because easy and simple are not the same thing. It is simple, but it takes work and it takes practice, and it is a skill that is learned. So y'all go out there and work on your confidence. I'm going to keep working on mine by going to do a workout after I'm done recording this. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you got something valuable from it. If you loved it, let me know by tagging me on social media so we can connect and we can be bestie pals. If there's something you want to hear about, you want to talk about, let me know. Social media, if you have my number, whatever, doesn't matter to me. Thank you so much for listening. As always, wherever you are, whenever you're listening, in the morning, in the afternoon, at night, in your car, on your walk, while you're grocery shopping, I appreciate it. I love you, and I will talk to you next time. Adios. Thank you so much for listening in. I hope you got a little inspiration to start taking steps towards whatever it is you've been wanting to try. If you love this episode, share it on socials and tag me. I'd love to hear how it helped you. And of course, we got to get the word out to the other women who are needing that little extra push like you and I do. Can't wait to talk to you soon.